Oh, we've only just gone live. Am I? There we go. There's our technical issue we were talking about. I'm still waiting for for my laptop to come on as live.
Oh, it happens. It happens.
Yeah. There we go. And is that okay? Yes. So you guys just missed my whole introduction that I just did. But yes, hello and welcome to Redesigning Mordor. I'm joined by Zan today.
Hello.
And yes, I just did an introduction, but today we're going to be working on the Bane of the Steppes redesign. And these guys, of course, are already a unit in the game, but since we're redoing the Variag Khandish visuals, we're going to give these guys a new look as well. But of course, yeah, it's good to see you all. Hopefully you can hear me, you can hear Zan all right as well. And as Assassin says, I had you in the background and just got jump scared. The amount of people who say that to me, because I don't start my streams with music, so I just sort of say a big hello, and then everyone gets scared by it.
I mean, it's kind of funny though.
It's all part of the fun.
Because, yeah, that's happened to me too. I like have it in the background. I'm prepared for a stream, and then I just hear suddenly hello, and I think there's someone entering my room or something.
Yeah.
Oh.
Hello, Alexis Villacastin. Hello. Now, I have to say, I am very, very out of the leap with Rise of Mordor. Okay, I've been very busy on a really, really cool job on a film set for the last 2 weeks, and probably for about 2 more weeks. So I haven't got any time at all. With a job like I'm building a set, and with a job like that, it just takes up your entire life. You don't have time to do anything. You're working really long hours. You're working hard. So you just get home really late and you just go to bed. So unfortunately I haven't had much time to do anything for the mod, but I have done this sketch of the Bane of the Steppes. And that is going to really help me when I'm tracing over it now. Because there's no need to faff around with proportions or design. I've got it all in front of me. Just go over it with some nice block colours. Really sort things out.
It's really interesting to see that you can really see that you have taken like the previous design and just kind of upgraded it in the spots, if you recall.
Yeah, indeed. I've got it here actually. Here is our tier 3 Variag design. Of course, these 3 are also in the game right now. This one is the Variag Lancers. So yeah, they look very different now compared to Aldur's incredible model, which of course I must mention that both the Bane of the Steppes and the current tier 3 Variags are going to be saved. They're not going to be thrown away, because that would be a colossal waste of talent there. So the tier 3 Variags are going to the Wain Riders clan, which is a chariot unit, and the Bane of the Steppes unit is going to go to Dol Guldur, and they're going to become Camul's bodyguard, which if I just show you, that is what they're going to look like without the shield. Ignore the shield. They're going to be a tier, or a two-handed shock unit.
And they certainly do look more intimidating than before, I would say.
Yeah, it's the black eyes, I think, that.
Yeah. Modest Eagle, is the Loki era's Rim gonna be a general unit as well? As far as I know, no.
I'm fairly certain it will be. They are Loki Innes Rim. I think that's the third age name for them. The Loki Rim Storm Riders. I'm pretty sure they're a tier 4 heavily armored cataphract unit. I'm sure they will be.
I thought it was like the Archer Chariot unit.
No, that's the Wain Riders, which also might be a custom general. The cataphracts is just a heavy horse, heavily
yeah.
like that.
But I mean, like, the Loki Stone Rider, which then becomes about the heavy horse rider. I think it's probably going to be that. And we do have a chariot rider, that is the Wild Riders. Question depends how they'll be, if they would be like an archer or melee. But I don't really know that. But it'd be interesting.
That'll be the tier 3 Khandish visuals we have in game right now. We'll go to that chariot unit. But yes, Assassin. What's the film? I'm afraid I can't tell you what the film is, but it's an English family-friendly adventure film, and I'm building a massive sort of mansion set with full exteriors and stuff. So we've been painting fake brickwork and making these sort of mahogany lacquered panels, and making things really dirty and muddy and oh, it's such good fun. And the pay is very, very good. So yes, there's pros and cons to working in a film, and of course the cons being long hours, very hard work, and it taking over your life essentially. But then the pros, of course, are very good pay. Meeting really cool people, making contacts, and of course, having fun. I'm having a really good time. Also because the people you're working with do make or break a job, I have to say. And luckily, there's been some really nice people there, so it's really, really enjoyable. Modest Eagle, damn, looking very sexy. Can't wait for these units in game. Nor can I. And Alter will almost certainly deliver on these guys, because his work has been phenomenal so far. Although you guys haven't seen any of his work yet, or in game anyway.
It would be interesting once it comes.
Yeah, I think most people don't know that there's going to be a Variag rework.
Probably most people are probably not even aware. I feel.
Yeah.
There's a decent amount for sure, but I don't think everyone remembers it. Well, the first preview to when it eventually will come out.
Yeah. But yes, there will be a full Variag rework, but all the unit visuals will be moved somewhere else. So rest assured. And Pirate Knight, ahoy mates! Are you going to make me really do the pirate voice again? Right. Ahoy mates! I be aft to watching streams so be ready to bring out the gentleman of fortune voice if it doesn't annoy you. Okay, I think I'm going to stop there. But yes, hello, it's good to see you.
Well, I gave you extra points for the attempt.
Yeah. Alexis asking, I've got an RTX 3070 laptop. Wow. I can finally play this game. Thank every deity. I'm glad. Yes, you can definitely play this game on a 3070.
Yeah.
I've got a 1660, I believe, and it's absolutely fine.
No, the sketch. Yeah, I of course Gondor with Gondor's roster would look a lot smaller if every other factions just get more units in. Yeah, but that would probably be because perception would just kind of lie to you, deceiving you in the feeling that it makes it feel a lot smaller than it actually is.
Gondor's roster is fairly big, though, isn't it? I can't remember. I mean, it's fairly big, considering some of the Elven factions have, like the Woodland Realm has a total of 13 units, I think, complete. The full roster. So compared to that, I think Erebor, Harad, Gondor, they have about 20 units, which is quite a lot. I think Easterlings probably do have quite a few as well.
It is 19 units, and with the custom siege weapon, it is 20 units. Easterlings have 20 units, if I remember, and Harad has 22. And it still feels like Harad is a lot bigger than like Gondor's roster or Easterlings, even though it's like just 2 units bigger.
Yeah.
Or cheap.
Yeah, indeed. What I'm going to do is a nice little trick. Is going to set the opacity to less.
May I ask this? But
the sketch through that,
the wings. Is it inspired by the Wing Hussars, or was it just completely out of your own mind?
Well, because not the wings on the helmet. I was considering giving them wings on the back, like the Winged Hussars, yes. But I'm not sure. I think because that's the danger with taking stuff from history, is that people look at it and say, "But hang on, that's from history. That's not from Lord of the Rings. That's from, you know, Polish knights." So that's your danger about giving them Winged Hussar wings. But I could give them some kind of variation of that, or I could also, you know, give them something that is similar but different in design, so that you don't instantly think of Winged Hussars. But it is a good idea.
Oh well, that's interesting. Because I didn't directly think of the Winged Hussars, but after a while, when I think cavalry with wings, that's kind of what my mind eventually runs to.
It is very cool, to be fair, isn't it? You know, because these guys are your elites. They're one of the best cavalry in the game. They need to look the part.
Yeah, indeed.
And yeah, as good as Alder's model was before. Hang on, why is that? There we go. And if you're wondering what I'm doing right now, by the way, I've got this drawing layer transparent, so I can see the sketch through it, which is a really handy trick. Which is just allowing me to get in the finer details, and it will allow me to sketch in some. There we go. Sketch in some more finer details. So, and of course I am neglecting the chat.
Yeah, but it seems like Elfie and the Pirate Knight is kind of handling that.
Shadow Ranger, were you all surprised about the votes you took a few days ago? Which vote was that? I'm not sure. Do elaborate on that vote which we took. One Punch Thanos, I have a question. Is the campaign still slated to be finished very late 2021 or early 2022? Well, Elegy, hello Elegy for a start, has answered you in that we really don't know, to be honest. We haven't released any, solid date because we genuinely have no solid date. So if we don't know, then you definitely don't know. Which, of course, was exactly what we said with Rohan, it must be said. But rest assured that this time we genuinely don't know when it's coming out.
Yeah, I was about to say, be careful now. Don't give them hopes now. It's going to be like...
We promise that is that's the last secret we're going to keep from you, because that was, while it was very fun, I think it's not something we should repeat too much. Ellen Enish, will you be redesigning half Orc Axes? Because for now it's basically an Uruk-hai model. Are you sure? I don't think it's an Uruk-hai model. It's basically, it's straight out of the film, if I remember rightly. It's the same model as the Raiders, the Uruk-hai Raiders, is it not?
I don't think it's the same model, but I don't fully remember because I don't stare.
I did the unit card for it. I did the unit card for it quite recently, so I'm not sure. Let's can of course.
No, the sketcher would Harad get trollmen. If I remember correctly, yes. Well, yeah, the mutants of the Far Harad, right?
Yeah, indeed. I'm not sure quite what they will turn out to be because we haven't really thought about them yet. And here we go. I've got my item guide units. There's your Uruk High.
Oh, you got like a...
This is my unit card reference. All of these for the new unit cards in the update.
So you have a lot of nice screenshots.
Where's our
the half Orc Axe?
They are exactly the same as the Raiders. With that cool axe. And we see one, we see a half orc axeman in the film, so I think there's no reason to change the model for now.
I think I was rather making like meaning like the physicality, the visual look of the body itself, not the weapon.
Oh well, to that point as well.
Because
I mean, they are also still Uruk-hai. They're not orcs, remember. Even I don't know why they're called half orcs, because that model. That's a very good point, actually. The model is an Uruk-hai. From the film, the ones that ambush Boromir are Uruk-hai. They are not half orcs. So that is actually quite a good point. I do see what you mean now.
Yeah, so that was what I'm assuming that was what he was referring to.
Yeah, it's a good suggestion. I would go to the suggestions channel on the Discord and mention it, because it's valid.
Yeah, it's a quite good suggestion. If you suggest it, I'm personally going to ping it, because it is quite valid.
I think just a name change, I think, would be, like, I think the Divide and Conquer one is the Uruk-hai Reavers or Uruk-hai Axemen or something. That fits quite well, to be honest.
Yeah, I would.
So yeah, Shadow Ranger saying regarding the vote that asked what faction we're most excited for. 50%, yeah, 50% voted for Lothlorien. Indeed. Well, as you probably know, with going forward with our Rohan update, from now on we're going to be doing sort of themed updates, and of course I will give no information on what's the future plans. But yes, you've seen probably on the Discord our previews channel. Manu's posted some work in progress shots of the Lothlorien elves. So all you know now is that they are in progress. The work has begun on them. But I certainly can't tell you, because I don't know when they're going to be released. Because Manu is unfortunately on a break at the moment.
If I remember the votes, Lothlorien, it always crushed the competition, to say it like that. And after that was Harad, I think, and then Gundabad, and then Khan for Warriors.
Oh no. Well,
that's like I think it was like a joke one.
Yeah. Well, I think it's down to the fact that people don't know the Variegs are. The Variegs are being reworked.
Well,
but yeah. Also, it's not an essential rework, but then again, it's not a rework because those units are going to be moved to something else. So it's not like the Mordor rework where all the old models are just going to go in the bin. It's a little swapperoonie, a switch. It's
a redesign, I would say, would be the perfect word for it.
This unit is getting a redesign, but the old model is not being thrown away. That's what we want to highlight. That's the important thing.
I'm very glad for that, because it is a very, how should I say, it's a very pretty model. To say it like that.
Especially the tier 3, the golden guys, are really beautiful. I was looking at Eldur's art station, and he's got a really cool render of it there, and it's really, really cool. Red faction. I hate Attila. That's a decisive statement there. The game has been optimized so badly, if a protective wall is on fire and you zoom in, the FPS go down to 20%, just like with the blood effects. Well, Red Faction, we've been doing our best actually to optimize it. Of course, there's stuff in the base game that we just can't change, I'm afraid. But we've had a big, if you've got our Rohan update, there's been a big sort of optimization update alongside it with LODs that hopefully should make your game run smoother.
And when the hotfix is out, we are also going to further optimize some other stuff with the spear fix, to say it like that.
Ah yes, our floating necromancy heads on the.
You mean the new Mordor stealth technology?
Ah yes, yeah, indeed. They haven't quite mastered it because the heads are still floating up and down.
No, the sketcher. I smell a Helm's Deep battle close at hands. I can say that maps take normally a lot longer time than units and such, so I can't really say that.
I mean,
but one day,
the preview's been put out. That the block out of Helm's Deep is being worked on. But yes, it is a big project, of course, because it's a fully custom settlement. There's no assets you can steal from the base game or anything.
Yeah, you take its time, but when it's out, it's gonna be a glorious. Riders from all will come.
Oh, hopefully. Yeah. No, that will indeed be fantastic.
Hi guys, I wanted to join the fun.
Hello. How you doing?
I'm pretty good. I wanted to, join one of your lives since you are finally making one.
Yeah, I'm glad you got in. Yeah.
Welcome.
Thanks, Darren.
Yeah.
And this design is looking really good.
Oh, thank you.
So was it made during the poses of your work?
No, indeed. Yeah, it was my commute there, travelling into London.
Ah, perfect.
Yeah, it's a fairly long train journey, I'm afraid. So yes, more time for Rise of Mordor sketching.
Mm-hmm.
And yes, right now I'm just doing some basic block out, and then we're going to move in with some more detail. Just because I think today is going to be a slightly shorter stream, just because my work means I have to get up at 5 o'clock in the morning. So unfortunately I'm going to have to get an early night because I'm back on set tomorrow. What is an excellent motivator is that from tomorrow we have full catering. So I'm going to...
Ah, perfect. You're going to enjoy that.
Yeah, looking forward to a full English breakfast when I get there.
Samp1619 is asking, are you planning on making the Mordor Orc concept art, or is it already one out there?
Mordor Orc concept art?
Didn't you already made one?
Like Minos Morgul, you know?
No, it means like an, I think you made one.
Yeah, those orc. I'm sorry for my pronunciation.
The Raiders.
I made the Morgul Raiders, correct?
Yeah, the Raiders.
But the Mordor, the Morgul Orcs are being worked on by one of our interns, Matt Henley, who's just on a little break at the moment, which happens, taking a break is good. If you ever find a block, you're in a block and you just have to, you don't know what you want to do and you don't have any motivation, take a break. It's always the answer.
Yeah, and we're not paying anyone here.
Yeah, so, exactly. No, we're very lucky to have people who are committed, It would be, unfortunately, I don't think we could do it if we didn't have people who just really, really helped us out, because if people just sort of came and went, I don't know, we just things would be so slow.
Yeah. And actually, one nice thing that I could say about this is that one of our developers actually got a job offer thanks to his designs, like his 3D designs of his units. So
Oh,
Rise of
really?
Mordor. Yeah,
Which one was that? Who was that?
actually, it was Mega.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, with Mordor, I think that
Yeah.
Type 3 was so amazing. So of course, like he got a job offer with that.
Oh, that's fantastic.
Very happy for him.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. I mean, do go and show him some love, folks. That's very big. Okay, I usually put in some lighting when I do these sketches, so I'm just gonna slowly put in tones. Yeah, I've had people ask me about how I do this lighting and stuff, and to be honest, the way you learn lighting, I think how I found you learn it is through copying photos and just looking at reference all the time. So now I'm just gonna, because lighting on shiny surfaces, shiny armor, is actually quite complicated, because not only does it reflect light, but it also reflects shadows, if you know what I mean. So even though there'll be a highlight area here, there's also going to be a shadow area here, if that even makes sense. But I'm going to put his
Physics, my dude, it works. It just works.
yeah, indeed. But yes, of course, if you want to learn stuff like this, it's really just down to practice. I wouldn't say there's particularly, in terms of art in general, I'd say that there's not a huge deal of talent involved. It's really down to practice more than you'd think. I'm trying to be motivational here. Massey, what tier unit would this be, or bodyguard? Yes, this is a current unit already in the game. This is the Bane of the Steppes, and we're redesigning it to be more in line with our tier 3 variags, which are here, which you may have seen the concept. So yes, they are indeed getting reworked, but I assure you that the old visuals will not be lost, and they are going to, instead, the tier 3 visuals are going to the Wain Riders, which is a chariot unit for the Easterlings again, and the Bane of the Steppes model is going to become the bodyguard for Khamul, which, I mean, if you've seen the model for Khamul, Aldo's done a fantastic job on it. And here we go, getting that beautiful red plume in.
Yeah, it's really gonna make it stick out. The beautiful red color on the top.
These guys are really rich, so I think I might just change this, because they can afford the really expensive fabrics and stuff. Of course, we'll give them like gold patterns on the fabric and it's all very sketchy, right now.
I feel like the golden outline is a very Easterling thing to have on their cloth.
Yeah, they do, don't they? The tier 3 have it as well.
It's like a thing they love. Shall we see? Ragnarok, good evening. I love this new design. Well, good evening to you too.
Thank you very much.
I'm trying to not mess up this. I'm going to butcher this name. I'm sorry. Easterling.
Easterling.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Full units. Well, hello to you too. Ellen, I'm giving up. I'm butchering everyone's
name. Just the first name. I think just the first name is usually okay.
The Bane of Steppes will be used for the blank. Yeah. It'd be the Bane of Steppes' current model will be transferred over to the Khamul, the Black Easterlings, for
indeed. Black Easterlings retinue. But they will be a shock infantry unit, so they will no longer have their horse, so their horse will stay, but they'll get this really heavy cataphracts barding. Because these guys are, you know, one of the best melee cavalry units in the game, so their horses should be armoured to reflect that, I think. You know, in heavy silver armour. I think it's only fair.
I mean, by my experience, they are really good units. They are a solid unit for the price you get it for, and it really holds on where it needs to.
Indeed, indeed. It's
like
you only get one.
Yeah,
but you know, since you only get one, they really need to look the part. They need to be glorious, you know. So hopefully I can do them justice.
Martin, Maeron, I just want to say that I love your interpretation of Tier 3 and Tier 4 for Harad. You and Frusty really nailed them. I love your work.
Oh, thank you very much, man. I really appreciate that. They were really, really good fun to make. Tier 3, and because it's like it's a cool challenge, because you've got your existing visuals from the film, which is Tier 2, but then you have to make them look more elite while still maintaining a familiarity from the film. So yeah, it's really good fun. I really enjoyed them.
Joe, I think a deep purple cloth would be, well, deep purple cloth would be cool and regiment.
Regal.
I don't know that word, I'm sorry.
No, that's alright. No, yeah, regal means just royal, basically, like a royal purple. Like, let's get a...
Perhaps that is a good idea for, like, their officer.
That's a great idea, actually, the officer.
Because
yeah.
if like the rest of the unit is red, then you have this very royal purple exquisite color for the officer.
Oh, that's a great idea.
It really make him stand out too, I think.
Because historically the colour purple dye was incredibly expensive. So you only ever saw it on, on royalty, on their like royal cloaks were often purple. And of course Roman emperors wore purple. It's because the dye is only was only accessible from these sort of rare seashells that you have to dive for. So it was hard to get it.
Megdrel, what is the strong point of Rune tank, infantry, and heavy camp? I would say the strong points of Easterlings are that you get some kind of cheap units for a really good trade-off. You get the Locarim Mace Warrior, which is, it doesn't have the greatest armor, but it really pulls up for what you're getting. You get a really solid infantry that will really do its job if it gets just a bit halberd support, and I would say they have a really strong cav, but in limited numbers. So what you get as Easterlings are really strong infantry with their support and good shock and strong cav, I would say, in my opinion.
Yeah, indeed. To be honest, Easterlings are pretty much good at everything. They don't really have a weakness, actually, other than perhaps slightly weaker morale. But they are, they're solid all round, which of course has been the debate. There's been some furious arguments. Oh, someone's joined.
Hello, Leo.
Hello, hi. How you doing?
Although this isn't really a weakness, but the only thing you'll be kinda lacking in as Easterlings compared to others might just be range. But then again, if you have a very aggressive playstyle, you might not be that much affected by it.
Well, I mean, I don't know, you've got some fairly decent tier 3 archers, like your Variag archers are fairly good, and they're a hybrid unit as well.
Yeah, but I think they have, if I remember correctly, shorter range than normal T3, like at least good factions like
True.
Dale,
Well,
Gondor, elves. Well, all elves, of course.
how's it going?
That's very good, thank you. How are you doing?
Good. I joined a moment ago, but my headset wasn't working, so I had to rejoin.
Oh, no worries.
Yeah.
It's good to have you.
Thanks. I don't know. Yeah, no. We were public about what I've been doing. We've had to go ask CA for help. We're that puzzled.
Oh right,
So-
is this the tile map?
Yeah, we've had to ask CA for help. They've offered some good advice, but I'm currently looking into it. We've been spending weeks on it, so that's why no updates on the campaign map recently.
Hmm.
Yeah. The tower project, will Eastern get horse archers? Yes. They have tier 2 Khandish horse archers that you can see in the channel page that is in the description of the video.
And they also, as far as I know, almost complete.
Are these guys horse archers? No.
No,
No.
these guys are.
They're
Then why did they have horse archers on their chest plate? They're not horse archers, but they got horse archers on their chest plate.
I think it looks like it's cooler than having an axe, I guess.
I think it works because they're really like, how to say, horse kind of lord faction.
They're inspired
So
by
Yeah,
the Mongols.
that makes sense.
It's a good point. I'll do it like this for now, but we can always change it. It's a small detail, of course, so we can quite easily change that.
Red Factions said, how long did it take you to learn how to draw? Did you have this talent before, or did you learn it? I can't draw 2 eggs. It's always ending up looking like 2 something PG-13 of Peter Griffin's chin. Or Peter's Griffin's chin.
Peter Griffin's chin.
I tried avoiding saying it.
Well, in answer to that, I mean, it's about practice. I wouldn't say it's about talent. I disagree when people say talent, because that's already a mental block. That's already you saying, like, it is just my opinion, but like that's people saying, oh, that's so good. You're too talented. I can't be that. I completely disagree there. I think anyone can do it. You just have to be willing to put in 10, 12,000 hours. If you do that, you'll be probably better than me, because I haven't put much effort into trying like actually learn. I've just sort of slowly chugged on, picking stuff up, you know, and then you get there. It just takes time, time and practice.
Doggy Kingdom. Dunglegold will have a lot of shock infantry. Yes, they will. And I feel like that is kind of the unique thing about Dungledor. They're very shock-centric, in my opinion.
You're saying Dumbledore, but I keep hearing Dumbledore.
I know, I can't help it, it's my accent.
You're a Swedish accent, right?
I'm not
or you're
Swedish.
Finnish, or you're Danish accent,
No,
right?
I'm already dead, leave me. Leave me be.
It's beating a dead, whatever horse at this point.
Norway,
You
isn't
took you took all of my neighbors here. Finland.
No,
Sweden,
I'm well aware that he's Norwegian, but we've had a joke going the other week.
You're
that-
casual. You're casual.
Yeah,
and
we
you
have
will
the joke
get your
going.
funny back. Let's see. Not the discussion. What if Attila had the system to support your modding? Would you guys go all out, or would you? And would you still drop Mimikills on Franz Eckhill?
We're going to have Mumakil.
yeah.
Thranduil's
Thranduil's
elk.
elk. We're not doing that due to law.
That's a choice. That's a choice.
Yeah. That would be a really
Yeah, but
easy one. That would
basically we
just be
can
a-
already do everything.
It's
So
just a
it's
fancy
not that we
horse.
can't.
Exactly.
It's just a horse with extra steps, to be honest. There's no
Yeah.
reasons for it. And,
Some retargeting and you're done.
Yeah,
That's an animation term, right?
Oh, I don't know. I'm a complete noob at that kind of stuff, I'm afraid.
Shadow Ranger. In your
I
opinion,
told you I'm
what
aware
is
he's Norwegian.
Shadowrun, in your opinion, what is the most colorful faction that you have or are making?
Ooh, I'd say Anduin Vale has loads of colours, loads of different colours.
Yeah, of course. Yeah.
Of course, stuff like Rohan, you know, they have a sort of more uniform colour, but they all have lots of colour in them.
Mordor is the most colorful faction by far. Actually, no, I actually feel like Isengard.
Yeah,
Isengard's far, yeah. So colorful.
Mordor can have like a touch of red, whereas Isengard is actually black, white, brown.
And the brown is the best, actually.
But they look badass. So.
Guys, if you have any questions about factions, I recommend you check the link, the last link, more or less. Explore faction roosters over here, and that is the Trello, which is where we plan our factions. And you can just check that, and you can see whether we have, horse archers planned for the Easterlings, and of course we do. But if they're not Easterlings, they are candidates.
They're either Khans or they're Vargans, which are culture-wise, I would say.
Yeah, Khandish and Variag are the same
people. The only difference is that, from what I learned, is apparently that the Khans is more of the common folk, while the Vargans is more like the, how should I say, the warrior class of their society, apparently.
Right, yeah.
Yeah.
Otherwise, they're the same people, it's just that Vargs are seen as like a higher class due to having their warrior status. That's how I understood it, at least.
Yeah, that makes sense.
And I gotta say, after learning that, I have a lot more appreciation for them.
Indeed, they do look fantastic. Even the ones in game now look fantastic.
Yeah. I can't say it looks bad, because it doesn't.
And of course, yes, I should of course clarify to anyone new who's here, we're doing the Bane of the Steppes redesign. And of course that is a unit in the game right now. But the visuals in the game will not be lost, and they will indeed be going to Dol Guldur, becoming Khamul's bodyguard. And of course, likewise with the tier 3, which you might have seen the preview in our previews channel on Discord. They will be going to this old visual will be going to the Wain Rider chariots, which I think someone just asked. Miguel just asked, is there going to be Easterling chariots? And yes, there will be. And they'll have the current aesthetic of the Variags.
Those chariots are going to be pretty fun, I guess, for you to design.
Oh, yeah. Looking forward to it.
Let's see. The sketcher. I think a lance with the flag might look better as a symbol, in my opinion. Well, the only problem with that is that this is a melee cav unit. They use axes, not lance or spear. So, I mean, unless you have a great design with an axe, with like some kind of flag or banner, I don't think it will work the greatest.
Well, I think it's just a matter of let's just sort of fiddle around with designs and see which one looks best, I think.
I mean, it would work. But I feel like it might be a bit out of style, since most of the unit with them have like axes, then they have one guy with a lancer.
Oh no, I think he's talking about the little thing on the chest plate, on the not the actual weapons they're carrying.
If you mean like the symbol R, so that if it's in that sense, then it's a good.
Yeah, that might be cool.
We actually have on the stream Castellan of Angmar, who, if I'm not mistaken, is one of the god tier modders of Divide and Conquer.
Indeed.
He made the Adunaik. Okay, I'm probably butchering the accent there for Ardunaim. And so many new units. He's actually spoiling us with some designs in the arts channel. And we actually have a fellowship treaty, let's say, with Divide and Conquer, which means that we are a friendly server between each others. So you're gonna see our previews in their Discord and their previews in our Discord, which is pretty good in my opinion.
Yeah,
LNL Anish is in which factions the Great Beasts will be, if they will ever have a chance to appear in game. The Great Beasts are not planned at the moment.
Of course, if they do appear, they will naturally be in Mordor.
Yeah.
Interesting.
But yes, Castellan's work on the R. Adonian models for Divine and Conquer look fantastic. Truly.
Alan, in which factions the Great Beast will be, if they will ever be by chance to appear in the game? The thing is,
we just answered that.
all right. My brain is stopping to work now.
Oh, no,
Yeah, I just jumped on that because, of course, like we had a discussion with Maestro and Victimite the other day. So you just keep answering questions. Don't worry.
I'm still scared. It's the Great Beast.
Yeah.
The question is, does Mordor really need to be even more overpowered?
The thing is, with my opinion, as a person who also likes playing Mordor, I can't really see a use for Great Beast really, because you can probably pick up trolls that we most likely get the same role covered out.
Well, I guess there'll be elephants. They'll be like having elephants or Mumakil.
It'd be like having elephants, perhaps with I don't know, archers on top. And I imagine that elephants and trolls can probably do the same results-ish to a degree when it comes to being in melee. Of course, I'm assuming the Mumakil is probably going to be better as a single unit.
Yeah, in terms of hit points also,
Yeah.
They are not gonna go down so easily.
Oh, that's going to be scary when you face them. But then, of course, I think the counter would be that both Mumakil, trolls, and if they added Great Beasts, will be very expensive. So you'll suffer. You'll have to, sacrifice 3-4 units to bring one, which is the downside, I guess, to them. And they might have a weakness. We don't really know yet until they're in game, but they might have a certain weakness that means you can't just throw them in there and get always great results. You have to use them well.
I also feel like the problem is that the logical weakness of it would probably be pikes and polearm, but because of the visual look of that, how should I say, that kind of shield on the front, it kind of would look stupid, but I would lose against a pike unit.
Which shield in the front is that?
Since they're kind of like a rhino with their put the scale front thingy on the Great Beast.
Their horn, yeah.
Yeah. So I'm saying, logically, game-wise, they would probably be countered by pikes and such if they were to be in the game example. But I'm also feeling like it would look really stupid because you have this huge protection in front, and then you see that they get absolutely destroyed by this unit that you would probably imagine if it was in the movies, who would probably break the pikes or something.
Well, that's the same with trolls, actually. I think they'd be quite a good counter to pikes, logically. I don't know about in-game, but, that would be that would freshen up siege battles immensely, because, that would mean you can't choke point with a pike wall anymore. Because, if the trolls run in, they just throw everyone everywhere, and then you get in your shock unit or something and smash them all up. That means you get round that absolute grind of a siege battle where they just sort of set up a pike wall and everyone just dies on it.
Yeah, but how do you counter it then?
Oh yeah, that's the thing. Trolls would need a weakness.
Because, they're a higher tier of trolls, but they have a lot of armor. And, example, archers. I'm assuming the armor would actually be decent, at least, against archer fire.
Yeah, I think.
Because it's a game, and, it's not like the real Siege of Minas, because then you have a lot of weak points you hit, instead of the game that just calculates the armor in front and just says, no matter where you hit, this is kind of, that's the stats.
yeah, true. I guess that's.
I'm sorry.
We are fairly far away still from getting the trolls in games. So of course,
yeah,
this is even amongst us developers that it is speculation at the moment.
Yeah, I mean, it's fun to speculate about things. I should put a disclaimer that nothing that we're saying right now about trolls may be accurate about like what may be good or anything. It's just talking for the fun of it, just so that it is known to everyone. I'm sorry also for neglecting the chat.
Let me just let's speed through it quickly to get up to date.
Yeah, there was a question about elves.
Rice Pepe, will you do also things giving the elven people different hair colours? We're basing on the films. I think, isn't there already hair variation? If there's not, I'm sure that'll be added in future.
Yeah, indeed.
That'll be cool to see, like brown-haired elves and like. But they are all fairly blonde in the films.
Yeah.
It was because actually, I mean, they reused a lot of wigs. So Rohan hair became elven hair.
That's interesting.
Which sounds completely unbelievable, but it happened. So that's a lot of blonde wigs you're having to deal with. So that's probably
they
why.
just didn't wash it and then just used it for their own room.
Yeah.
Like a storm, Easterlings will be too powerful with amount of units, and they're strong or not? Question mark. The thing is
strong,
that
yes, yeah,
they're strong, but it's kind of hard to say how they will perform with all of the units, and you know it could always happen balance changes that completely changes them from like top dog to bottom, to say it like that.
They are strong though. And
also, of course, we should mention that we are using some kind of, rock and scissor system. So in the end, every faction is strong on their own. We're striving at least for that. But in the end, it depends on your strategy and, of course, like what kind of units you use. Because, of course, like if you want to hold with Rohan, you will try, and then you have to be very mobile with your cat forces. So in the end, Rohan is not a weak faction because you can actually use their strength.
Indeed.
But of course, it's not like one faction is stronger than another. In the end, of course, like we can make tiers. Like the Easterlings are god tier, of course, because with only that shock infantry, which is very, very good.
I am.
Yeah,
I mean, Easterlings all round.
I would say that certain factions. I'm gonna say this as a Easterling fan and as a person who plays it a lot. That certain factions with
fanboy for Easterling.
Certain factions with certain loadouts, if you make it specifically to counter the Easterling, and you have the skills and micro, and you know the game knowledge, you are most likely gonna destroy the Eastern player because they have limitations in the area. You just need to kind of play it yourself, figure out their own weakness where they kind of have their little limitations. They might not have like a huge weakness, but they have limitations compared to other factions. And a good example on that is the limited cav.
Yeah, true. I mean, so they are fairly all round quite well. They are good at most areas. So they don't have. I'd say morale is their biggest weakness. Having played them,
I mean,
they have their infantry is maces, so they have that armor piercing bonus already, just as their main line.
I mean, if you lose your gen,
exactly.
You're not gonna have a good time. You're not gonna have as bad a time as Mordor, but you're probably not gonna last if you're playing against very strong factions like elves.
Yeah, that's true.
But Alan asking,
you have got strong cavalry, even though there's few in number. You've got halberds, you've got good shock, you've got really good shock. So it is a challenge to beat them. Absolutely.
But that's also why they don't get like special beast or anything. Well, lore plus they're pretty good and solid on their own.
Yeah.
So as Alan asked if they would get like great beasts. Lore-wise, it does make sense. If I remember correctly, they were bred in Mordor.
Yep.
They've probably never been in the Eastlands, so I don't think an Easterling has seen a great beast before the Battle of Numenera.
There is actually no information on where they come from. So in the end, we can just assume that they come from some kind of savanna place, like rhinoceros or something.
I'd say almost Harad, almost. I think.
Well, I mean, like in the borderlands, or maybe in the Nurn area, so that the breadbasket around that kind of inner.
The backside
we don't
of
know
Mordor.
Actually. We just we just know that they are great beasts, and they look like rhinoceros, and they actually have to eat. So in the end, they can come from the ashlands, I guess.
I mean, even their name is just so generic.
Yeah, indeed.
Great beast,
Answering some questions, like just for a second, then I'm gonna give it back to you, Zarn, because I actually have to leave. Legolas is planned. You just can't see it on the public Trello, but on our private Trello we can actually see it. But there is no concept or anything, nor there is a unit that is chosen for him. And also about the Dunedain, they are at this moment Aragorn's unit. The Great Company is included in the Imladris roster, just because we are in the custom battles phase. And then when we are moving to the campaign phase, of course, like we are gonna move him to some kind of Dunedain Horde roster. I'm unsure about that. Like I think it's gonna be maybe just the Arnor roster, or maybe there is another roster for the Horde faction of the Dunedain. Because in the campaign they are actually gonna be an Horde until they can make again the Kingdom of Arnor.
Yeah, indeed. Oh, I'm gonna looking forward to that day.
Yeah, you're ready for that. Actually, I'm gonna go, guys. So
Oh yeah, thanks for stopping by.
Yeah, I really had fun. I just missed this kind of streams.
Oh, I've missed it too. It's good to be back. It's very good to be back.
Have fun, guys, and
it's looking good. See ya.
Bye.
I should clarify now to the chat that Easterlings don't have like extremely poor moral. It's just that you can really feel it if you lose your general. But I would say out of the evil factions, you have one of the best morals out of the evil factions.
Oh, I agree. Isengard's pretty good, I guess, as well.
Yeah, I would say the only faction that like compares to you on the evil are Isengard, and they are a completely different breed. So
Isengard are great. I love them. I absolutely love them. Yes, indeed. So,
but remember, this is if you lose your general. If you don't lose your general, you're probably gonna be fine. You're not gonna rout most of the time.
Casual, love to see Maeron back on the streams. Well, I love being here, and thank you, all of you watching, for supporting us. That really means the world to us, and it really helps us with motivation to drive this project forward. And yeah, so Zahn has just confirmed about Easterlings with morale.
Yeah, it's just my experience is if you lose your gen, you're not gonna have a good time.
Elan asking if you're doing an Arnor campaign faction, why don't you do an Angmar campaign faction in future? And that's because Angmar is not a thing during the War of the Ring. And actually, we're doing a bit of lore stretching here. We're doing some lore stretching in that we are putting the reforged realm of Arnor in the period of War of the Ring, when realistically they were actually only around in the Fourth Age. But we know for a fact that Angmar wasn't a thing since the fall of the Witch King or whatever happened there. To be honest, I can't remember. But But yeah, so they unfortunately won't be a thing. Unless, of course, we find that the balance in Eriador is way too heavily weighted in the good faction's favour. Because, of course, if you think about it, you've got Imbladris, you've got Linden, Ered Luin, and you've got Arnor as well. All four of those factions, and who are they fighting? They're fighting, I guess they're fighting Dunland to the south, and they're fighting the goblins of Gundabad and Misty Mountains to the east. But that's, you know, all three of those evil factions have other enemies as well. So, you know, it might be just absolutely crushing defeats in Eriador every single time, in which case we will have to find something to supplement them. I think that would be the answer. But yeah, again, just something we don't know it yet. We really don't know, is all I can say to that. We can speculate, but that's it.
Yeah. Mohammed's
Assassin saying Maeron is much quieter than Zarya. Is this better now? I've moved my microphone slightly closer to me. How's that sounding, folks? And yes, Mohammed, when will all of Mordor units get their reworks? I know you won't give a date, but are they at least being worked on? I believe so. As we mentioned before, Mega has just got a job as a result of his rework on the Mordor, which is stunning, and that's really amazing. Really, really, you know, happy for him that he's managed to do that. So I don't know how it's going to be with the rest of the Mordor rework. I know Frusty's on them. He's doing the tier 1. But yes, that is next up, basically, is what we'll say. And yes, we don't know dates, so I can't say any dates because we genuinely don't know any. So
I'm gonna be honest. Once I saw the sketch of that unit, it looked a lot less armored than what it looks like right now.
Oh,
because it looked more like you know, the kind of leather armor.
Ah, right, yeah.
It looked like it had that leather with mail under.
No, I'm gonna give them. They're not gonna be much more armored than these guys, actually. As you can see, he's got this sort of lamellar, you know, pieces on him. He's gonna have the same lamellar actually, but just with some chainmail around the neck and on the arms and stuff. So that's all he's getting. But the horse, I think having the horse in this full metal barding is going to make him look so much more elite than the current ones.
I'm looking forward.
Will we see the horse art today too? I've got about, you know, half an hour to an hour left of the stream. So yeah, if we get this basic sketch done, I might consider drawing up a basic one of the horse art too, the horse barding. Let me know what you want to see. If you'd like to see me continue with more detail on this guy, do say that. But if you want me to start on the horse, I have already got the horse template out, which I use on all my horse concepts. Saves time. You know, I don't need to draw a new horse for every one. But let me know. We could do some basic sketching of the barding on there. But right now, let me finish this.
Let's see.
Ellen asking, saying, after the fall of the Witch King, almost all the Angmar hillmen died, and orcs of the Misty Mountains greatly diminished. Still, during the War of the Ring, they could be a small threat. That's exactly the point.
Well, yeah.
They just wouldn't have the capacity to mount a full-scale war against a full kingdom of Arnor. You know, these guys are, you know, this machine of war. That these rough hillmen just wouldn't have a chance. You know,
they're scattered,
exactly.
absolute destroyed manpower-wise, and they probably just got leftovers of what they got and scrambled to survive. I don't think they're gonna like be able to organize themselves to a quick enough degree that I would actually have an impact. Other than just also being like, oh, this is the wild forest you don't go into. But like, I don't think they would be able to, army-wise, do anything.
Yeah, I mean, also, would they even want to fight you? Because they have been secluded for a while now, and they don't have contact with anyone, really. Would they care? I don't think I don't think they'd even care about who on earth was forming a kingdom south of them, as long as they don't take over their own country.
I think so. Even with resentment, I think they would kind of look at how much they have taken damage and such, and realize they can't actually do anything fully against, and it's best to, how should I say it, to not wake the tiger up.
Yeah, exactly. Although that being said, Angmar lands will fall to Gundabad, so the Gundabad Orcs, and there is a Rudauer infantry unit in the Gundabad roster. If you have a look on our Trello page,
well, so you know what this thing.
I mean, that implies that Gundabad will spread into Eriador and into the lands of old Rudauer, and that means you will be able to have some kind of Angmarim force, I guess, of men, even though they'll be a fairly weak tier 2 unit, but still it means that they'll be there. And there's even Barrow Whites in the Gundabad roster, so that implies that they'll, their natural progression will be pushed towards spreading towards even as far as the Shire, which is quite far, So they may prove to be a real threat if you're playing as an Eriador faction.
Well, some men can't be changed no matter what you say to them. That's what you say to that answer. But yeah, I don't think they would be able to form a faction on their own, thinking about it logically.
Indeed. So yeah, Commander Wolf saying, I'm a hardcore fan of the Eastling faction. I really hope they'll get some fine additions like Katana, Melee, Golden Easterlings at someday. Amazing work, by the way. I really appreciate the effort. Ah, so you mean like Loki Rim swordsman, essentially. I don't know if that'll be a thing, actually, because...
Well, the Macemen...
Yeah, the Macemen take the place of the mainline infantry.
Don't quote me on this, but I think like in long, like back in the day, they used to be a sword infantry, and they got swapped to Macemen.
Back in the first alpha, pre-alpha, they had swords.
That, and I don't think Easterlings would necessarily use a katana. They would probably use a curved blade like a scimitar. Most likely, I'm imagining, due to maybe like their mere culture-wise. I would say so.
I know that the ones in the pre-alpha who had the sword, they had a fairly Western sword actually. Although no, it looked like a Chinese sword. So it wasn't curved. It was straight, quite wide bladed. But yeah, Chinese inspired, I think, which fit them well, to be honest. But anyway, getting back to the questions. Casual really liked the Japanese face mask that's going on with the helmet. Ah, thank you. No, that was something that came about from this guy. It's basically this guy, actually, isn't it? And having those black eyes makes them nice and intimidating. Katana, Melee, Golden Eastlings, are you trolling? There's no need to beat him down for giving a suggestion.
Yeah,
that's not a friendly atmosphere we want to foster here at all, man. Okay, so and I don't see any problem with that. That's just saying, give the Loki Rim guys curved swords. I don't think anything. That's, you know, if I was in charge of the mod, I probably would have a swordsman unit in there somewhere. But
well, a katana isn't curved, but I don't think obviously it depends on how you make it.
oh yeah,
you can. I'm sure that if you're a good enough artist, you could probably make it fit in with the style. I personally always have my I like this, and you know, my biases. But I'm sure there's an artist out there that has made Easterlings with katana that looks fantastic with their style.
Yeah, and also it's not when you say katana, like whenever I do historical inspiration in my designs, you know, I never use reference, because that always means you copy something from history, which basically means you put something from history in your design. So that means when people look at it, they think, ah, that's from history. But then they're like, well, hang on, that's not from Lord of the Rings, that's from history. What's it doing there? Whereas if you don't use any reference, you just sort of go from your head. You've got an idea of what it is, but you don't know exactly what it's like. That often results in a design that looks similar to history, but still unique. That's what I do. That's a fairly long rant, I know, just about a samurai sword, but what I would do is design it without copying a real samurai sword, just so that it...
I would just take the blade part, and then you just...
yeah, I'm not sure about the hilt, the hand and stuff. No.
You just change up the hilt a bit, and, you know, then it's like... It probably could fit.
You know what, actually, I've just realised.
Well...
There's Easterling swords in the film, which don't look like samurai swords. They look like curved blades, like you said.
Yeah, I can't make shite out of that, because I don't watch the 4K one. I know I should be ashamed.
No, there's. I saw on the Imgur gallery.
Yeah,
which
because
is a really cool reference we have, which is a bunch of behind-the-scenes costume designs and weapon designs.
I should say that my logic doesn't come out of... I just think it's cool. It's more like... in their history, there had been once upon a time they were seen as like these great riders that terrorized places. So I assumed, well, if you're a rider, you would want a curved blade, because that would help you more than a straight blade.
Ah, very true. Very true.
As such, I just kind of base it. It might be a very stupid like basement, but I think of that and I kind of base it around that. So I think, all right, this is a part of their culture. Then it would make sense for them to have curved blades, and then they would just probably have that as a standard and just keep it that regardless of their role.
Yeah, there you go. There's your solid argument, I think. Yeah, the ones in the film have like a curved blade, and they have a cool handle which has like 2 dragons on each side, which is cool. And Castellan saying, I think the Easterling unit used the base game sword from the Picts in the early days. Ah, right, that explains why it looks so Western.
I just remember that, if I remember correctly, I thought it was like the base Roman sword.
It does. It looks similar, I think. Yeah. But yes, lots of people. I do apologise if I've missed something you've said. Rice Pepe saying, I didn't mean to put him down, or how you said it just sounded like a joke to me. No hard feelings. Okay. No, good. We don't want any kind of toxic atmosphere here. Absolutely not. Yeah, we because we want to hear people's suggestions. We don't like putting, saying no without thinking about it, because it's always valuable to listen to the community, which I think some mods don't do enough. And I think that's one of the really, really good, valuable points about the streams we do, is that we can really connect with you guys, and that means we can hear what you're thinking and really deliver what you want, what the fans want. Mohammed saying, I think it's a great suggestion, but after all, the mod needs to stay on par with the lore. Which one was that? What suggestion was that? If that's regarding the curved swords, I doubt that's so trivial, to be honest. That it doesn't matter, but I don't follow which suggestion you're responding to. I think hopefully I've got everybody.
Do you have a plan for like a icon or anything for the shield in front, or?
Oh, they'll be getting the same shield as they have currently. Weapons are the only thing actually that's not changing on the very agri work. So the shields and the weapons, the axes and the here, that's all the same weapon as the current in-game one.
I'm thankful because I love that axe.
Yeah,
it's a very pretty axe.
It is beautiful, isn't it?
I come to realize
it's just been changed colour now. That's all that's happened.
I've come to the realization that concept-wise, I've seen that Easterlings have very surprisingly pretty weapons, or they have like weird weapons. Interesting.
Well, this spear actually, I have to say, the spear is new because I'm not actually a fan of the old design. The spear is like is very much like a Japanese spear actually. Is it a naginata? Naginata, I think it's called.
Interesting.
That is one I have redesigned.
Months. When is the next update coming up? It's coming out when it's ready. We don't release dates or say anything about or give out information on upcoming updates.
Indeed.
So the best answer you're gonna get is it comes out once it's ready.
And we say that because we don't know when it's coming out. It's not like we have a, with Rohan we did know it was coming out. That was where we were not quite entirely honest with you. But rest assured that won't be happening again. And from now on we genuinely don't know when the next update is. It really depends because it's a voluntary thing. People are flexible. People come and go. People have periods of busy work. I'm currently completely bogged down by work, so I can't do anything for the mod except this today. So the time is always changing. We just don't know is the answer.
It's
David,
Yari.
David, Lord of the Rings saying, yeah, Yari. And I shouldn't be pronouncing it terribly. If you don't know, I'm half Japanese, so I should be pronouncing it properly, which is Yari. Yari. And Naginata is the long sword, if I'm not mistaken. This sort of uber Zweihander, double-handed great sword that they carry around, which is amazing. I love that weapon.
Thank you. Now I have a new weapon to look at. That's like it's a weird thing that I have found that I really like when it comes to like medieval weapons. It's pole arms for some reasons.
Oh yeah. Oh, pole arms are beautiful. Like a good halberd or like pole axe. Really cool. I guess the Prince's Coast Guard kind of have a fairly historical polearm design. More like sort of late medieval, early Renaissance kind of design.
Django, I'm sorry to say it, but it's the same thing. We just can't say anything because we can't give an accurate statement or estimate, I would say. Only if it would be soon or far, and we don't give out informations on updates. So sorry about that. The hotfix, I have no idea. Sorry.
Yeah. Yeah.
I wish I did. I wish I could be like, oh yeah, I know it will come out this and this day, but I don't know, and I don't want to promise something, and then you come back to me and say, Son.
Yeah.
It's not out. What the hell?
That is also exactly the reason why we don't give dates as well, because people, grow expectation and then we fail to deliver because of the voluntary nature of the mod. So unfortunately, we don't know when the hotfix is. For anyone who doesn't know what the hotfix is for, it's to counter small bugs that we found in the Rohan update. Because we pushed the Rohan update out quite fast because we wanted to get it out there, to be honest. We missed a few things, like the floating Mordor heads on the Uruk spears is the biggest one that we found. So that will be fixed in a hotfix, and you'll have to re-download the 4 packs.
Well, it is technically, from my understanding, it's probably just pack 1, but I would recommend taking the whole thing just to make sure.
Indeed. And David is schooling me yet again. Naginata is the bladed polearm. I think you mean the Odachi. You're right, aren't you? Yeah. Gosh, yes, I apologise for this shocking display, this shameful display of my cultural heritage here.
Dishonourable display.
Yeah. So this would be a Naginata then, because it is a bladed spear, as opposed to just a spear with a point, because there is a proper blade on this thing.
This is interesting. Then we're learning things.
Yeah. Rice Pepper is saying polearms and spears are underrated. Oh, I completely agree there, because the whole thing in Attila of spears being bad against infantry is just so stupid. If you look at sparring videos of historical European martial arts and stuff, the spear wins almost every single time, because the guy holding the spear isn't an idiot. He knows he can move the spear around quite easily. So if you've got a sword, and even worse, if you've got an axe or something in both hands, you haven't got a shield to defend yourself, he can just sort of move it around and poke you. You can't get close. So it is a stupid gameplay thing, but in a way it makes sense to have a unit that is more defensive. Yeah,
but spear units are... Spears are nice. I like them. The spears are just that kind of weapon that in the Middle Ages that you could probably do well with compared to a sword without having proper training with, I would say.
And also they're cheap to make, easy to use, or fairly easy to use.
Really?
If you don't want to die, they're probably...
You see a bad guy, you poke him.
Yeah.
Don't let them come close. Lucky Storms asks, Agmar could be, says, Agmar could be a faction when we conquer required land with Mordor, then do released faction thing in Sandbox campaign. And when we achieve this, we lose Witch King for Mordor. I think at that point, as a Mordor campaign, you probably have snowballed so hard if you've only managed to get up to Gundabad. You probably have killed like Gondor, Rohan, Andrew
if you're getting up to Angmar in your Mordor campaign, you've won that thing. I'm not sure. If we were to put in a mechanic like that, that would be very far down the line, because it's basically a sort of fun thing. It's not really to make the gameplay any better. It's so late game that
Yeah, it's so late game that at that point you're Sauron, but the alternative version that conquered the world, and then you're just messing around.
Exactly.
But yeah, I think like the concept of it is interesting, but like it takes probably too much effort without any rewards, because there's not many players I can see that gets to that point to do this after like probably snowballing the world of Middle Earth.
Exactly. Right, I've been corrected again. Yeah, the Naginata is a curved... Yes, of course, you're right. The Naginata is like a sword blade, a long sword blade on a long stick. So it's basically a glaive That's what it is. And the yari is the spear, which does have a small blade on it, but it's not a big blade. It would be like this. I'll just do a little drawing. Oh, shocking.
Because isn't that kind of what the like war?
Yeah, that is your naginata, and this is your yari. There you go. Shameful display, as Rice Pepper points out. Shameful display on my part.
Yeah. Joe, will the old Bane of Steps be used? Yeah, for the Bane Riders, aka the chariots for Easterlings.
No, not them. These guys are the tier 3 rework, and so these guys are going to go to the chariots.
Yeah, sorry. I mean,
and these guys are going to become. Let me just show you. Let me also just put you.
Oh no, I messed huge up here. I mean, those are going to go to Camel. The Dumbledore.
The Easterling. Yes, they're going to get his custom bodyguard. Ignore the shield. They're not going to have a shield. I'm covering the shield with my hand, but you can't see that.
Shameful display by me. Calling myself an Easterling player.
Yeah.
Doesn't even know Bane of Steps look.
Yes, so they will be reworked a little bit by Aldur, and they'll become Camel's custom like two-handed hammer shock unit. And they will be a truly custom bodyguard, basically the same as Dane, in that you can only bring them if you bring Camel, unlike the Rohan generals, which have generic units as their bodyguard.
Jaro asks, have some mercenary accessories if you want to make non-standard units, or is it an answer to something I missed? I'm sorry about that. I don't think I completely understand this, so if you could elaborate on that, I would love to hear. I clearly missed something. Yeah, I've clearly missed something.
Shadow Ranger. So because Harad is coming, are the vassal swordsmen of Mordor going to be redone or changed at all? Personally, I think that we should at least change the sword. Oh man, yeah, those guys need to be gone.
Yeah, please. I don't want to see that cardboard thingy.
I mean, I don't know who made them. I don't like, they don't look as good as Frusty's work. More rather, they don't look like they're from the films. They don't look as...
It's not that it's like super bad. It's just that it doesn't look completely leather-alike because of the color scheme, kinda. So it looks, at least for me, and no offense to the creator, he did at least so that it was good enough, I would say.
Yeah, they're not bad. They're not bad models. Maybe also that they're not varied enough, because Harad is a very sort of wild men faction. So having loads of variation is always good in terms of making them look disorganized, So having them all wear the same uniform, just in different colours, looks a little bit off.
Yeah, I think that might be like my main thing with it. It's just that and the cloth piece. It looks too light coloured, in my opinion.
Right. Yeah. And the swords are a little bit funky. You're right.
Funky swords are the best kind of swords.
Yeah, they just, well, funky in the sense they don't quite fit the aesthetic of Harad.
I can agree with that.
Casual's off. Well, thank you for stopping by, Casual. It's been good to have you. And yes, I've got a moderator in the chat with me, in the call with me anyway. So nothing shall be afoot, I guess.
None shall. Well,
you can rest assured.
Yeah. Thank you, Casual, for this for helping me. Yeah.
I think someone got banned earlier. I don't know what happened. I think Elegy dealt with them.
Yeah, I saw that. I looked away for a split second, then I see something happen. I was like, oh, okay.
Yeah. It was the guy that said he didn't like Attila, so he's probably going on at me. Probably the guy that's responsible for the one dislike, alas.
Yeah, I mean, oh well, it happens.
Indeed. Massey saying the law argument doesn't really work with the whole Arnor thing. Well, it's it's because we are pushing them, because we know for a fact that the Arnor was reformed in the Fourth Age, which was literally a year after the War of the Ring. So what we're doing is basically Arnor is not going to start as the fully fledged faction kingdom. They're going to be a Horde Ranger faction, as they were during the War of the Ring.
Yeah.
And then, only after certain requirements are met, I guess, you'll be able to reform the kingdom. The only difference is that Sauron will still be around.
I think it's going to be a very probably interesting campaign to do. Of course, I have zero idea how it would be, but I have a bit of imagination how it could be, and I think it might be one of the one that feels like you start maybe from nothing and then you kind of gradually manage to create this.
Oh, indeed. I mean, I think the Northern Dunedain, or the Dunedain campaign on Divide and Conquer, is the most popular of all their campaigns. So, if that's a sign, that's promising. Because if you don't know, Arnor is indeed my favourite faction.
Maeron, we aren't supposed to show biases.
Yeah. No bias here. It's just that Arnor's the best, no question.
All factions at least get the same amount of love.
Oh yeah, no. When it comes to concepts, I still give Arnor more love, I have to say.
You can at least pretend.
No, we can't. It's too ingrained in me. I spent a very long time on the Lords of Westerness concept, like 2 months or something. They just went on and on and on. So I'm very attached to them.
Right, Pepe, to answer that, the problem is just that at the time where the campaign starts, or roughly for what I know, there basically aren't enough people to structurally create an army. Plus, they're severely weakened and more scattered and disorganized wildmen than any proper force. And even if you make it as like an event after X time, this will happen, it'll probably be like they come so late, they have no game impact, or it's too hard to properly make it where it has game impact or not. That, and lore-wise, it would be hard to like make it feel in a satisfying way and also work to actually have impact instead of just existing to exist.
Exactly.
So that's my answer on that.
I mean, we know that the Dunedain, the Kingdom of Arnor, does grow from nothing, whereas that's because lots of people move there from Gondor and stuff. Whereas, and of course you have the Dunedain already there in Eriador, but Angmar, there's just no one there. You've got little scattered villages. That's it.
Sorry then, Rush Puppet, but I clearly missed it. Apologies for that. But you're free to write down the suggestions in the Discord server. I will have a much easier time to pick up there.
Yeah, that's true. Again, what we were saying earlier, it's good to at least look at the suggestions. I think that is valuable.
It's time for the shameless plug that you can join our Discord.
I don't know why I haven't done that yet.
You're welcome.
Yes, indeed. If you are new to Rise of Mordor, and some of you probably are new because we have our fairly successful Rohan trailer. So if you are new and you want to find out more, our links to our social media are in the description below. You can find our Discord, which is very much our main hub of activity, and you can see previews and announcements, and find matches, find games, and keep up with the community. And we also have ModDB and Reddit and something else that I can't remember. Trello. And Trello is cool because that is our essentially our roadmap. You can see all our factions and all our units.
It's a great place. You can see all factions that are planned and somewhat their units. Of course, remember that everything is subject to change, but if you have a question about will this faction have this or this unit, you'll most likely find it on the Trello, and I could trust you. I went through it multiple times, and there were units like the Vague Riders I didn't spot before a long time, and I went and I'm like, oh, wait, Wayne Riders? And I check it and I see it's a chariot unit. It's interesting what you can find there. I would highly suggest that you take a look.
They are quite hard to spot because they haven't got. It's basically the Wayne Riders and the Avari Wanderers for Dale don't have any stats or stuff. So there's got a tiny little thin unit card. So it's really easy to miss them. Philip's saying, yeah, Tom, we want more Lords of Westerness. Well, luckily for you, we have one more elite Arnor concept remaining, which is the Knights of Anuminas, or the Lords of Anuminas. Marshals of Anuminas, that's the one. So they are yet to do, and I haven't really thought of a design for them, because I haven't thought of colour schemes, because blue, of course, is the Swan Knights. But green looks a bit weird. So yes, I'll have to play around with them. But yes, that is yet to come. So more stuff to look forward to. And Gabriel, hello, hi. Good to have you. Lucky Storm saying, how does Dale exist if they are destroyed when Smaug arrived? We didn't see him in the Lord of the Rings films. Well, no. I mean, that is stated many times that Dale is a thing in the Lord of the Rings, because at the Council of Elrond, if you've read the book, Dale is a prospering, admittedly young city. It is reformed by Bard, and his grandson, what's his name, Brand. His grandson is the King of Dale during the War of the Ring. And Erebor is a thing again.
Yeah, that and at the end of the Hobbit movie, you basically see what is the start of where Dale starts to rebuild.
Exactly. And also, we know for a fact that during the War of the Ring, as Minas Tirith was being assaulted in Helm's Deep, the Easterlings led a massive assault against Dale and Erebor, and it's called the Battle of Dale and the Battle of Erebor. That was where Dane Ironfoot unfortunately died alongside Brand, and they were almost defeated. They died fighting outside the gates of Erebor, and they only won because the armies of the Easterlings ran away and fled because they heard that Sauron died. That's it. Otherwise they would have been wiped out.
I'm just imagining it's like, gosh darn, the ring is destroyed, we can't fight anymore, we need to leave.
Well, there was orcs there as well, so if the orcs started to run away, you know how a mass chain rally
fair enough.
Even in Attila.
I could understand that if you're attacking this city and this dwarven kind of fortress, and then you see a huge chunk of the army suddenly started retreating. And you would probably also instinctively start to think, I should probably get out
here. Yeah, exactly.
Philip, yes,
it's interesting. It's interesting that it would be cool to see if that was ever depicted on film. That'd be cool.
Philip, yes, this concept art is of a heavy melee cav, I would say.
Heavy cavalry, it's the Bane of the Steppes. So if you have played the game at all, you'll know that they're already in the game. They're one of the strongest melee cavalries in the game, and here's their updated barding design, which is a very sort of heavy cataphract look. as opposed to what they have now. So hopefully, yes, they'll look very, very intimidating.
Math. They're not part of the Bane Riders. They're part of the Vargans/Khandish group.
Yes, indeed.
But the Bane Riders will come, and they will be the Chariot Boys, to say it like that.
And the Chariot Boys are going to take the visuals of the Tier 3 Variag units, the current ones in game, so we don't waste them. We don't like wasting units. Alder's work is incredible, so it'll be a big shame to just throw those units away. So we're going to use them on the chariots, and they look kind of like sort of Mycenaean chariot riders with their big bronze plates, so it seems fitting actually. And Matt Haley asks, saying, I guess these guys are cavalry, not chariots, but they are part of the Wayne Riders culture group. No, these guys are Variag, you know, Bane of the Steppes rework, as mentioned in the title. And yes, of course, I've just seen our Discord is indeed pinned in the chat, if you'd like to join there quickly.
Yeah, always has been. You're all welcome to join.
Indeed, indeed. We are rocking a quite ridiculous 53 server boosts at the moment.
Oh, yeah.
It's a little mind-boggling.
It was insane. It just... Oh, it skyrocketed.
Yeah.
Wonderful support from you guys. Absolutely.
Well, it's because it was Nitro is free now for a brief period of time. But that's 3 months, 3 months of Tier 3 server booster perks, which is incredible.
Yeah, but you make some things at least a lot easier.
Yeah, 100 megabyte upload limit. Wow.
Now you can finally upload your sketches and such without any problem.
Indeed. Hamza, hello, you're new here. Well, welcome. A very, very warm welcome to you. Thank you for stopping by. But yeah, like we were saying, Discord is our main hub of activity. But YouTube is actually steadily growing now. We almost got a similar sized community on YouTube. 9,000, and we have 12,000 members on our Discord. So, you know, in time, I think YouTube will overtake Discord. Which is great, because, you know, that means more people to participate in streams and all that fun. So...
Soon I can make the Isengard 10k meme when YouTube hits that.
Yeah, indeed. We haven't really. If you guys have any ideas for our 10k special, you know, do let us know, because we haven't got any ideas, and it's rapidly approaching now. So let us know. We could do a 24-hour stream marathon. Although no, I shouldn't have said that, because people are going to want that, and that is a shocking thing to say, because I know, you know, I'll be putting myself through that, which I don't want. So ignore I said that, because that's not going to happen.
Yeah, 10k no, I mean 10 hours live stream concept art. No.
Although I could do it, but indeed.
Yeah, but at that point, I think you would be like, nah. I don't want to draw for a month.
Yeah, indeed.
Rice Pepper.
Go for it.
Rice Pepper. These guys are melee cav. They use their axe. So they are axe like cavalry, to say it like that.
Yeah, you guys know how these guys are in game. They're going to stay like that. They're not going to.
Yeah, they're quite great.
You're talking about the marshals of Illuminas, which have a lance and a longsword. They'll have a lance, I guess, and a longsword in melee. I think that's what you're talking about there. And Alf Zeppo and Nerijus G, hello, both of you. Welcome. And thanks for stopping by.
I'm just saying it now, champ. I don't think anyone can survive like a 24-hour stream, no matter what they're doing.
I got the idea from Izzy. Izzy is a Divide and Conquer YouTuber. Great, really, really great guy. He is going to be a big player in our campaign promotion, actually.
What a mad lad!
But he did he didn't do a 24-hour stream. He did an entire Divide and Conquer campaign in a single stream, which took about 24 hours, which is mind-boggling.
I just, you know,
I don't know how he did it. I genuinely don't know how he did it, but that's where I got the idea from. He did that for his 10k special. Although, as Matt's pointed out, Frusty will take on 18 hours by himself. Easily, yes. We could do that could work, actually, a relay stream where we pass the torch on to the next person.
Yeah. That is the only way I can imagine, like a
Yeah.
24-hour. It would be like, I am first Maeron or something, then Frusty, then Mega Blue, and etc. It'd be like the Olympics, just without the bad luck of the torch dying.
Yeah. We'd have to start a new stream each time, I think, but because we're passing on the host.
Yeah.
But still, yeah. That could work. I mean, put it in the suggestions channel, I guess, if you want to see it. And if go on.
I have to say that I sadly soon have to leave. So just
no worries. Are we approaching? We're almost approaching 2 hours, which is
yeah. I thought you said it was.
I thought it was going to be an hour and a half, and I have.
Yeah, you said it was going to be short. Then they had a bit too much fun.
I am having a lot of fun. This is I've been looking at this sketch on the train for several days now, so it's fun to put it into colour finally.
Yeah, that red colour is so beautiful with it. It's really majestic, and with that idea that a person suggested with that purple colour for general, perhaps, I think that will just make it solid.
That's definitely a plan. 25-hour stream. Oh, now we're talking. Massey Ferguson saying.
Damn.
And unfortunately, yeah. Well, again, post it in suggestions. If you see the suggestion, give it all your support. If you want to see that, I can't handle a 24-hour stream, but we can see if we can do something together. But Lucky Storm, Lords of the Western are basically Númenórean fighters for Arnor. Yes, they are. Well, they're Dunedain, I guess. Dunedain in armour. Rice Pepe. Oh, yeah. Go on. Yeah, they are.
That is basically it.
That is, yeah. They are the equivalent of the Aduna Kori, basically, or the Fountain Guard. Rice Pepe. Will these guys also have lances? I was thinking like cataphracts, kind of, using the lance in two hands on the charge with shields on the back, and then switching to the axe in melee. No, these guys are a melee cavalry. Which is a different category from lance cavalry.
That was the one I was saying. They're axe cav.
Right, yeah. So these guys always have their axe out and their shield.
But that axe is just—it's such a brutal weapon. Once you know what to use it against, it's such a deadly thing.
Oh, these guys are a very scary unit. Yeah, for sure. You don't want to face these guys. They, and even like Rohan, who is a cavalry nation, they can't fight these guys. They struggle to beat these guys in melee. So
that might be true, but
unless you swarm them with 4 cavalry units.
But their numbers might be what carries.
That's true. Rice Pepe heading out, but nice chatting to you guys. Well, thank you for stopping by. Thank you. Yeah, it's really nice when people stop by and they're nice and interactive. So it's been good to have you.
It's good having all of you here.
For sure.
With wonderful questions and activities.
Yeah, indeed. Philip saying maybe really on continuing stream with highlight units like Frusty. What was that? Not quite sure what you mean. Oh, it's in 10k special highlight units like Frusty continuing the Witch King and me designing the Marshals of Illuminas. Ah, yes, that could work.
I'm just saying it now. I'm gonna take a little walk with my dog, but if you're still here streaming, I'm coming back.
I'm gonna finish the stream fairly soon, actually. Anyway, so
fair
yeah,
enough.
it's been good to have you, man. Thanks for stopping.
I'm gonna call it a day. Goodbye, people. Have a good evening or night or whatever where you're living. And yeah.
Yeah, thank you. See you soon, man. See ya. Yeah, evil factions looking pretty too, Matt Haley. I think that's really important because it's easy to get into the habit of making all evil factions just black, grey, brown, and that, you know, a little bit of that is good, but they should look beautiful as well, in my opinion. And even low tiers. I'm a big fan of evil units and low tier units still looking beautiful. And Alf Zupa, I'm heading out, but have a good day. May the Lord Jesus Christ bless you all. Well, thank you for your kind words. Thank you for stopping by. Of course, each person believes their own thing. And yes, indeed, thank you. And Owen Whitbread, how is the Anduin Vale coming along? Well, Anduin, we have quite a few people working on Anduin Vale actually. In terms of the 3D modelling, I don't think anything's happened yet. Just because they're quite a low priority faction. They're not, you know, they're not planned for quite a while now. What we need for them, you know, there's much more that he's doing that could be more important and more appreciated. But in terms of concepts, we've got Edred still working on the main Anduin Vale folk, and then we've got Arrow, who's a 2D intern. He's working on the Woodsman. And other than that, I think that's it. The Bjorning still needs someone to do it, and I'm trying to work on the Aotheode, but I've completely lost motivation on that concept, I'm afraid. Because if you don't know, I'm trying to step down on concepts, and I'm going into architectural modelling, so I can start pumping out battle maps for you. I'm working on Amon Hen at the moment. But yes, so I may well not continue with the concepts for too long in the future. And Lucky Storm saying, I hope hobbits will be weak. I want to burn Bree to the ground. Well, yes, hobbits will be a very, very weak faction, unfortunately. Which will make it, but they won't be playable. So they'll be a passive faction. They may well be playable as when you're the player, but I don't know. I don't think that's a very lore accurate representation, because they just didn't care about the War of the Ring around them, really, did they? So we shall see. But it would be very fun, of course, to conquer Barad-dûr with a bunch of hobbits. That'd be great fun. And Matt Haley saying, it feels like you guys have been ramping up the map making and architecture type assets. Is there a lot in the pipeline right now? There is a fair amount going on. Yes, we've had a fairly quiet patch in terms of battle maps, but now we've got more map makers and we've got more asset creators. You've seen previews in our channel for Isengard and Helm's Deep, and recently Victimized did a stream on modelling the Minas Morgul, which is looking fantastic. So that's 3 big custom settlements in the works right now. I can't really give you a date of when they'll be finished, because it is a lot of work to get a custom settlement out. But yes, just remember that there is some big maps coming, and of course Khazad-dûm, Moria. is also in the works, as you might have seen in our 25th of March special, Tolkien Reading Day special. There's some Khazad-dûm previews in there as well, which is made by Haganaz, and it's looking fantastic. I'd say that's the closest to completion of all the battle maps. And Assassin Gold is saying, what Maeron concepts are the best concepts? Although I do think you will do the architecture justice. Oh, thank you very much. Yeah, it's not like I'm going to stop doing concepts. Don't worry, I will still be here, and I'll still definitely be doing unit cards because they are such good fun. But it's just I before I go to university, I want to branch out my skills, and you know, having a team of really experienced modelers and not using their knowledge, it just seems like a waste to me. So, you know, why not? Because I'm fairly comfortable with 2D. Why not push myself to learn something new and to help the mod in a different way, and then get some really, really valuable life skills. So that's my thinking behind it. But yes, don't worry, I'm not going to be stepping down from concepts. I still absolutely love doing them. But yeah, there's been a few concepts I've started that I've sort of been losing motivation to finish recently. And streams in a way are a good way of getting you motivated. I think Frusty found that as well. But not having the streams means you sort of there's no drive to finish things. So, you know, I'm glad that the streams are back now. We had a fairly quiet period in terms of streams, but now, yes, now they're back. So hopefully you can start seeing more work again. Lucky Storm saying, yeah, maybe fun to conquer with hobbits, but almost impossible because they'll be very, very weak, as you said. Well, yeah, it's kind of a meme, really. It's not a serious strategy. That would be you have my eternal respect if you can win a campaign with only hobbit units. That would be incredible. And yes, for anyone who doesn't know, there is 2 hobbit units planned. One for Arnor and one for the Anduin Vale. But I think that, yeah, Breland is going to be a faction. It's very low priority, but as I said, it will be passive and probably non-playable. So it means they'll have, you know, 3 or 4 units, maybe like a sort of Bree militia kind of thing, and maybe a slightly more elite mercenary kind of unit, and then of course hobbits. So I don't know. As much as I would wish for them to be a faction, I would absolutely love to design them. I give them a sort of historical, you know, English historical look in their, you know, 15th century armour for any of you history folks. But yes, so that would be something I would fight tooth and nail for. But yes, at the moment it's not currently a thing. Matt Haley, Hobbit unit size is 500. Melee attack and defense values at 1. Oh gosh, that would be very, very scary. Imagine being an orcish army and seeing a unit of hobbits march over the hill, and then they just keep coming and coming and coming. Hundreds and hundreds of them. Terrifying stuff. Alexis Velikastin, how many 3D modelers are working at the moment? On the team we have about, it's fairly quiet at the moment, I have to say. But in total, I know for a fact we have about 30 team members, and of those 30, I'd say maybe 6 or 7 are 3D modelers, and we have interns as well, 3D interns. We have about 4 or 5 2D artists, and then several animators, technical folks, map makers. There's a few architectural modelers now that have joined us recently, which is really good to have, as I was saying earlier. But yes, 3D does still, of course, remain the main aspect, the main focus of the team. That, of course, being what you do see in game. And Decky Boo saying a proper Gondor map will be pretty cool. What do you mean by that? Because our Gondor maps are the only maps that are proper, if you know what I mean. Because Gondor is the only faction that has full architecture at the moment. So all the maps are made using the custom stuff that's based on the film visuals. So I'm not quite sure what you mean there. If you mean like a standard, you know, just a map called like Gondor City or something, nice and generic, that would be, I guess that would be cool to have as well, yeah. Because with our Rohan update, we released a sort of a generic Rohan Keep and Rohan City, Rohan Town. So I guess you'll see something like that in other factions in future as well, yeah. Lucky Storm saying, I really do like them. I don't really like them because they destroyed Sauron. Oh, the Hobbits. You don't like the Hobbits? Well, if you're an evil fan, I guess, yes, that's a good perspective to have. And Martin Laurent saying, do you plan variations for these dudes? I might not, you know, actually, because with variations, the more elite you look, the more elite you go in terms of scale, I think having variations sort of detracts from that a little bit. Because if you look at the like the Fountain Guard or something, they all look the same and they have a uniform to them, and that I think subconsciously makes them look more elite. But yes, we'll see in future, and it's down to Alter really if he wants to do it. I'm providing this sort of like the basic visual, and he interprets it in his way. And for those of you who don't know who Alter is, because he is working on the current Variag and Khandish rework, which is, of course, you haven't seen many of them. You've seen the Khandish Sentries. He's previewed them, I think. But that's it. So you may not know who he is. There we go. And it is drawing, unfortunately, fairly close to the end of the stream. But let me keep answering your questions. Matt Haley saying, do you know if Mega has gotten to start on the rest of Mordor's rework yet? Well, as we were saying earlier, Mega has got a job. As a result of his amazing Mordor rework, Mega has been offered a 3D modelling job, which is incredible. That's you know, I'm very, very happy for him. And I don't know what that means on the you know, on whether the Mordor rework will go ahead as quickly as we imagined. But yeah, remember that Frusty is also working on the Mordor rework. And Haganaz was helping out with the head, so it's more of a team effort actually. But yes, you know, you'll see, we'll preview stuff, don't worry, when it's ready. And I'm sure he'll stream it as well. I think the last stream he did, he was working on the Morgul Raiders, which is a tier 1 shock unit, a new tier 1 shock unit. So that's something to look forward to in future. Matt Haley saying a proper Minas Tirith map. Ah, so you're talking about a proper Minas Tirith map. That would be very, very cool. I agree. Yeah. As you might have seen in our Rohan trailer, the guy who made it, Nadim, made his own Minas Tirith map, just like that, easy. No, he just banged that out in a day, and it looks fantastic. And it doesn't function properly with the AI, unfortunately. But it's on the Steam Workshop. If you go to the Steam Workshop and type in Minas Tirith, you'll see his battle map. And it's a land battle, so you're basically fighting on the Pelennor fields outside Minas Tirith, which is really, really cool. But yes, don't worry, a day will come when we have our own Minas Tirith map, fully working and fully epic. Risha Pitt saying, you guys are doing something huge for Tolkien and Lord of the Rings fans. This thing, when it's done, is going to be so beautiful. Oh, thank you very much, and I completely agree with you there. That's why, that's why I joined. It's such a cool project to be a part of. Honestly, it's better than most other. I'd say it's one of the best mods out there in terms of quality and community and progress and popularity. So it's really an honour to be part of it. And Schnitzel Boy, hello Schnitzel Boy. Schnitzel Boy is one of our newest team members. He was an intern, but he is now being promoted to team member. And he is working on the lower tier Linden elves, which is looking fantastic. The Falathrim Seafarers, I think they're called. There's some little shine on that shield. And Starfinch, hello Starfinch, good to see you. And Matt Haley, I didn't hear, so happy for him. Yes, indeed, it's very big, and you know, it's very glad that he's he's been recognised like that. They are very, very beautiful. The Mordor rework is stunning. Lucky Storm, will we see today the axe made? The axe, I could do that for you now quickly, really. To be honest, the axe is the only thing. If I move this quickly. And for those of you who are new, this is the current Bane of the Steppes unit, which is going to go to Dol Guldur, and they're going to look like this. This scary looking wraith on the side here. And they're going to be Camul's custom bodyguard. And for those of you who don't know, these guys are the Bane of the Steppes, who are in game already. But we're just doing a rework of the visuals to make them look more in line with the rest of the Variag and Khandish visuals. So that's got Ulta to thank for that, which is something I'm very, very looking forward to. Matt Haley, the face mask will be a fun piece to create a lot of the unit's variation, different expressions or types of demonic designs. Yeah, that's a very good point. That is a very good point. And maybe stuff like this sort of this chest plate here could have different designs on it, and the wings, I guess. Ooh, there we go. Yeah, and I've done a few variations on the face mask. There's a different one here. Slightly different, more cumin in a way. So I guess stuff like that would be cool, and I think Ulta's very capable of doing that himself, to be honest. So yes, indeed. So let's do that axe as Lucky Storm asks, and it is basically just that, isn't it? Okay, very simple. Oh, wrong layer. And Starfinch saying, wow, watching you as a non-artistic person is interesting. You're incredibly talented at what you do. Well, I had a rant earlier about that, actually. I'd say it's practice. When people say talent, I think that yes, your brain could have little wires in that it. You know, you can have an advantage in that you understand how things look a little bit more, but it is, I'd say, almost all down to practice to get it, to be able to transfer it to skill into drawing, you know? So I don't think talent is the right word, and I'd say practice or skill. But yeah, so thank you very much. I do know what you mean. It's just a thing that I think a lot about. And arguably, Lucky Storm, the axe is the least interesting part of the thing, because that is the only thing that is already in the game. You all know what the axe looks like because you've seen it many times. Although clearly I don't know it well enough because I'm trying to copy it. And it's not a great angle, is it? I'll just do the rough sketch for it. It looks something like this. There we go. Nice and easy. And there we go. It's got a little spike on it, hasn't it? And Jan Mevol saying elves. Elves, what do you mean by elves? If you are after an elven update, well, go and have a look at our previews channel on Discord, where you can see Manu has posted some work in progress shots of the Galathrim, which are very, very cool looking. I'm really, really excited to see them. And yes, as you know, we are doing our themed updates from now on. So you may well see an elven update soon, with all the previews that are going on. I know Manu is almost finished with... Well, no, I wouldn't say almost, but he is aiming to finish the lower tiers of the Woodland Realm. And as I said just before, that Schnitzelboy is working on the lower tiers of Linden. So there is a lot going on with the elves at the moment. So you've got that to look forward to. But I think the one everyone's after is the Galathrim, the Elves of Lothlorien. Probably one of the most iconic units, elven units from the films. Starfinch saying, I suppose so, yeah. I can understand from a different point of view. I play guitar and I would argue that it's more practice based than talent, so I see where you're coming from. Yeah, that's a great, music is a great example actually. And I mean, I do know what you mean by talent, because some people are just naturally better at it. They pick it up faster. But that doesn't mean that if you struggle, you're never going to be as good. You might have to do more work. I'm not saying that everyone has this. Everyone's going to be able to do it in the same amount of work. That's not what I'm saying, because I don't think that's true. But I think that yes, it is achievable for everyone if you put in the hours. It's just something that bothers me. When people say that, they say you're so talented and that they could never do it. And I'm like, you can do it. You can definitely do it. You just have to be committed. And you know what? I'm going to call it a day in terms of the actual work there, and we've done a fair amount today. We've blocked out the whole sketch. That's ready for going in with some finer brushes and doing the details. We have all the lamella lines to do, all these sort of little mini plates, and we've got plenty of details like the chest piece there and the helmet, and of course all these black bits are going to be chainmail. So it looks a little funky right now, but don't worry. So there we go. So that is everything for today's stream. So if you have any questions, do quickly chuck them in the description, chuck them in the comments, or chat. Sorry, I'm all over the place today. And yes, so Schnitzelboy saying that yes, so Starfinch, because you play the guitar, you are indeed an artistic person, and I agree. Music is an art as well. It is almost certainly an art. And Charlie Howard, hey Maeron. Unfortunately, Charlie, you've just come at the wrong time because we're about to end the stream. But yes, thank you very much. I'm very glad you like the design. It's something I worked on for several days actually on the train, just on the way to work. Sketching away. I get these horrible looks on the train because I'm, if you don't know, I'm working on a film set at the moment, so I am covered head to toe in paint and filth and some all kinds of like wood stains and all that funky stuff. So I get these horrible looks on the train. So I just sort of get down and then start drawing and mind my own business. Mass Ferguson, great job. He looks intimidating. Thank you. Yeah, the mask, these black eyes and this scary face, sort of dehumanizes, which is nice, I think. Massey Ferguson, excellent stream. Thank you. I'm glad you had fun. I've had a lot of fun. It's been really, really good to get back for sure. And Schnitzel Boy, Jesus, Maeron, you're making me jealous. I didn't apply for 2D. Yeah. Well, I'm Schnitzel Boy. Theodort is Schnitzel's cousin, and yeah, he's been. Myself, and Edred have been mentoring him, and he's made incredibly rapid progress. So yes, I mean, Schnitzel, if you're ever interested in 2D, although it's good to have you, it's really good to have you on 3D, I have to say. But yes, I'm always happy to help you. Any of you, to be honest, any of you community members who have any questions about 2D, even if you don't want to help out, if you've got some questions, do let me know, because I'm always happy to help people. Charlie Howard is, I'm working, I'm on a lunch break. Ah, well, I'm glad you managed to catch even the end. That's good to hear. Lucky Storm, it will be a short axe because I can't see the wood on the hand area. Yeah, I'll make it a little longer, but right now I've finished for today in terms of the actual artwork. I'm just answering any questions you have left over. I think these large lamellar plates looks perhaps interesting as an idea of their own. What do you mean by that? Oh, as in having just these solid plates. That's true, that's true. I want to try lamellar though. I think that will make them look more in line with the other Variag units. And Olaf, thank you very much. You're already looking insane. Always love these streams. Oh, thank you. Yeah, no, I'm glad you love them. And yeah, thank you everybody for turning up. Armoured Space Pony, damn, looks amazing. Love the wings. Was that from what I said, or I don't know what you mean there, but yeah, Charlie Howard, are the elves being worked on still? Yeah, Manu is on a break, I have to say, so I don't know what's going to happen in the future, but he is in the middle of working on Lothlorien, most importantly, and he's also in the process of finishing off the Woodland Realm, and Schnitzel Boy is working on the Tier 1 Linden. So there's lots going on, even if it's paused at the moment, but do rest assured there's plenty to look forward to in future. Matt Haley, glad to see the streams are back. Indeed. No, I'm very glad they're back. They help with motivation, actually. But yeah, that being said, I'm going to call it a day there. We've gone over 2 hours, actually. So yes, a massive thank you to everybody who's turned up. And you know, another warm welcome to everyone who is new here. It's really, really good to have you all. And of course, one last plug is that, you know, our Discord and all social media links are down in the description, and you can also see some of my own art on my Instagram and my ArtStation if you're interested in seeing that. But with that being said, I hope you have an incredible remaining evening or night or day or morning, wherever you are, and farewell.